Hello everyone, I'm the Mole Man, and welcome to Schnellfahrstrecke Köln-Aachen in Train Sim World 2. We're driving the ICE, which is going to be good fun, so let's get ourselves into the cab. Let's get the doors open, so we're going to go into forwards first, so we're ready to depart, and release the doors.
Türen geöffnet.
That's the doors released.
Zugbeeinflussung. WB gesperrt. WB gesperrt.
The train's done talking to us now, hopefully. Good. Right, let's get the panel door open. We're not going to need it yet, but let's turn LZB on. Excellent. Shut the panel door again. Excellent. So once we enter the LZB section, it's now on ready. I'm not going to be the sort of person who plays with CIFA and PZB. That's not my area of expertise. What is, though, is going into the screen here. I say expertise, it's probably not expertise, but we can find this screen right here. This is the destination screen. And somewhere in here is the ability to enter here. That's it. Somewhere in here is the ability, there we go, to set the destinations. Set that one, set that one. And now if we have a look on the outside, we should see... Excellent, there we go. So I've just set up the destinations there. So this is a train going from Brussels to Frankfurt, as you can see, Aachen, Cologne. And then all the other stations it would stop at after this, which is kind of cool. So that's, yeah, I like that. That's a nice attention to detail. Nice attention to detail. So what we can do with that now, doors are ready to go. 442 coming in there, very nice, very nice. So we're just gonna... Doors are gonna close. Excellent. Right, let's bring this screen back to normal. Let's get AFB turned on.
AFB. AFB. AFB.
Put a bit too much on there. There we go. 40 kilometers an hour is how we're starting, so that's all good. Brakes already released, so we depart. And we're on our way. Listen to that. Excellent. Set up to Aachen station. It's rather nice, going non-stop to Cologne. It's supposed to be there at 12:13. Hopefully we'll be on time. Let's just go over a viaduct here, which is kind of cool. Nice sort of grand entrance to this station. Go over a viaduct and then into the three arches there. It's kind of cool. So yes, let's get back in the cab, shall we? And let's get the screen back to normal. That's it. Because I believe this shows us just if we've got power or not. Because that's 15 kV, so that's good. And it tells us what we've got the AFB set to. So the AFB is mentioned there, 40 kilometers an hour. It's also mentioned with a little needle there, which is cool. Because if we just move it briefly, you can see that moves, but we don't do that right now, because otherwise we'd start speeding. But we can go up to 100 kilometers an hour very shortly, which all means we can get up to speed gradually. So the speed limit will be 160 kilometers an hour maximum until we get to Düren, and then once we go through Düren, LZB will kick in and we can get up to speed. Proper speed. Proper speed. Alright. AFB up to 100 kilometers an hour. Bit more power in. Nice. Excellent. Look at that. It's just so cool. Get it? Because it's the ICE. I love it. High speed is just one of my favourite things, so taking control of it in Train Sim World 2 feels like one of those yes, at last sort of moments, you know. And high speed is here to stay, that it definitely is. Right. Almost 100, 120 coming up. Going to pass through all the stations along the way, which is excellent. Let's just open it up and just see what the route's like non-stop. Should be good fun. Speed limit's going up. There we go. 120. So many rails either side. Hope one day we get something that sort of adds to the railways you get on the sides of these routes. Hopefully. So you got all that lot. Imagine playing all that lot, that'd be cool. 120, that's what we're doing, which is good. Going up to 140. And I believe we've got to come back down to like 110 in a short while. Nothing we can't manage though, with the power of AFB. It just doesn't get better than that. It really doesn't. Run down here, we can see the pantograph. And you see these things have got many pantographs because it's the DVBR 406. It's the IC3M, M standing for multi-system, meaning all the pantographs here run on different networks essentially. And down it goes. Nice. Let's get back in the cab. So yeah, it's a multi-system train. So as you see, this goes from Brussels to Frankfurt. So that covers that's a cross-border. That's a cross-border high-speed service. And that's the whole point of these, is they can cross borders, and the different pantographs are for different systems, compared to just the DVBR 403 ICE3, which was built primarily for Germany. So that's the difference there. Go through all the tunnels here. Excellent. So in 2.7 kilometers we do have another speed restriction coming in. But with AFB turned on, if we just dial it back a couple of notches down to 120, it should automatically break us down, which is cool. You're not technically supposed to let a train drive itself, but it's good fun. Like, usually accelerating by itself is fine, but braking should always be done manually. That's at least the British way of doing things. If you got to slow down, you do it manually, but as long as we give it enough distance, this thing will bring itself down perfectly fine. Nice countryside here. Right, let's bring it down. That's it. It's on. I'm doing it on the keyboard commands. It's R and F. You can just grab it and wiggle it to and fro, but I've been trying to do it with the keyboard commands, which is interesting. They're a little bit Twitch friendly. It's a little bit too eager, so you can tap it and it'll do a couple notches. But it's good for changing it quickly. That's more or less down in time. Let's put a bit of brake in as well. That's what the interesting looking car park, isn't it? Lovely. Getting massive yard here, which is cool. And one thing you'll notice is that the route is fairly sparse, but that's not always going to be the case. As was mentioned in one of the Q&As prior to release, one of the things they're planning on doing is when routes like Rhein-Ruhr-Osten and Main-Spessartbahn release as part of the Preserve Collection, it will add services to this route using the Doppelstocks. That would be extra regional services. It would use the 422 on the S-Bahn, which is awesome. It goes up from something like 49 services to 220 or something like that, which is it's ridiculous jump up there. But it just shows you how many S-Bahn services there are in particular. There's freight as well. It'll add freight. So that's cool, and I'm glad that's already there. It's just sort of in the background, waiting for these routes to release in the Preserve Collection. And once they do, it'll be awesome. So we'll see how that goes. I'm just speeding slightly here. That's it. That's fine. So yeah, that'll be cool. So just make these things feel a little bit more, make it feel a little bit more alive. But as far as the timetable that's in here is concerned, it's realistic enough. We've got ICU services every couple of hours. The Talent 2 running regional expresses every hour, I think, which is about what you get in reality. do another station here. Is it Eschweiler? I can't. One, my pronunciation is going to be awful. Two, I can't read it because it's racing through. So, you know, just deal with it. Just deal with it. Look at that. 160 kilometers an hour are coming up. And that should hopefully be something we keep for a short while here. A bit more power on. Sort of crawling back up to 110, but we can go up to 160 any second now. As soon as the rear of the train has passed the board. There it is. Right. I think because me braking, it stopped using the throttle. So let's try again. There we go. Yeah, because I used the brakes, it overrided AFB, so it stopped applying power. But we're back under control now. 130. 140. Almost at 150. And so 160 is the fastest you can go without LZB. And LZB is this bit here, which is cool. And it does work. So we'll see that in action in a short while. But yeah, because once you go faster than 160, you see these signals that come around the corner here. If you saw a speed restriction or an adverse signal, you would not have time to do anything about it if you were going faster than 160. Because, you know, reaction times, all that lot, just aren't quick enough. So, LZB helps out, which is rather nice. And should drive itself as well, which is kind of cool. Let's have a look outside again, shall we? Back up to the front. 160. 100 miles an hour. Not too shabby. ICE. Look at that. Super elevated curves there. It's kind of cool. We'll try to get a fly past shot. It's not bad. Excellent. Because that's one thing I'll notice with this route is west of Düren, it's very sort of twisty-turny because naturally lower speed limits, this is the sort of thing the railway will do. But the upgraded section that goes 250 kilometers an hour east of Düren, that's it's a lot more straight and narrow. There's still some turns in there, but you see that there's lots more dead straights, which is a nice contrast, really. Stations like that where the platforms are actually on a loop, so a train could stop and another one could overtake. That's kind of cool. So you can see it's 11:54 at the moment. We're supposed to be there at 12:13. Most of that distance that we've got to get there will be done like that, like instantly, because of the high speed. And I do find it fascinating. Get on a high-speed train, be on it for a few minutes, then you're somewhere completely different. That's the sort of stuff that does fascinate me. Which is just as well, isn't it? Because it means we can enjoy this in all its wonderful glory. See, it's a slightly cloudy day. You can see the new layers in action. So the sort of the faint clouds. Yeah, ignore this. It says blind. There's a blind. The faint clouds are sort of like the upper layer, and then you've still got these other ones which are a lower layer, and there's two layers of those. So it just gives the skies a little bit more life, because you've got different altitudes of clouds like you would have in real life. So that's cool. So I like this. Just watching what's going on, watching the signals go by. I could put CIFA on, and we could play with CIFA. CIFA's easy. It's the same as a vigilance device. You've just got to push a button every 60 seconds to because you can see it's isolated at the moment. I imagine it's in here. Whether I can see it from here or not is another matter. CIFA. Let's have a play with CIFA. CIFA's fine. I imagine it's on Q. Yes, it is. So that light will light up. I believe the light will light up, and we've got to acknowledge it. If we don't, it will say CIFA a couple times. If we don't acknowledge that, then the brakes will come on. So we'll just play with that, because that's not too difficult to play with. As you can see, in 3 kilometers, 200 kilometers an hour. That's going to be fun to play with. I'm now just keeping my eye out for when CIFA lights up. There we go, and LZB is kicked in. LZB is this line in the middle of the track here. Allows us the train to read like 14 kilometers ahead. As you can see, what it's reading at the moment is upcoming speed limit of 160, and the distance ahead will count down to a speed restriction. Going over the classic bridge there, look at that. That's awesome. Historical, that one. And there we go. A very rare bridge design, that one. Very rare bridge design. I think there's only a couple of them in all of Germany. Right, there's the 200. Just around the corner here, into Düren. Get ourselves up to speed properly. So 200 is about 125 miles an hour. 125. And then 250 is fast. It's fast. Some ICs in the sidings there. That's kind of cool. See, I got it. Yeah, so that lights up. And then it says CIFA if I don't acknowledge that. Which, because I was looking that way, I didn't see it. So, I'm glad the audible announcements are there. But yeah, so the 160 speed restriction is going to be outside Cologne. So once we get closer, you'll see that number start to tick down, and then the bar will tick down, and the braking curve will kick in, which assists in making sure we're at the right speed at the right time, which is cool. CIFA. You've also got it on the HUD. You've got the under the gradient profile. There is a little alerter system there that does represent CIFA. Hello, ICE. And as we go past him, we're about to go up to 250. There's the LZB board for it. And up we go. Oh, no, 250. There we go. Excellent. And as you can see, it's going to take, what, 15 minutes to do this bit? Because of how fast we're going? We'll get a sense of just how fast in a bit. Okie dokie, thanks for telling me something, LZB. You're telling me 000. I guess that means I don't got to worry about any speed restrictions for a while. Or you're telling me to stop at some point, but it's not for another 9 point. That's in meters, that number there. So that's 9,900 meters, so best part of 10 kilometers. So I don't got to worry about anything for a while yet. See the moon. It's kind of cool. It doesn't matter how old you are. It's still always fascinating when you see the moon in daylight. It's just one of those things, just like, whoa! I shouldn't be able to see you right now. It's cool. All right, here we are at practically 250. So let's jump out. CIFA. This is 250. It's a ridiculous speed, which is awesome. Try and dodge everything. There we go. Look at that. Trying to dodge all the signs as they go past really quickly. This is what 250 looks like, and just to get another idea of it, I don't even think the camera can keep up, so I'm not even going to try the free cam. This is as fast as it gets right now, which is awesome. But this thing can do a lot faster. If you turned LZB off and just opened the throttle up, the track's straight enough. You could probably give this thing a bit of a speed test if you wanted to. I dread to think. I mean, look, it goes up to 350 on the speedo. That says 330. Right, what we've got going on? So that's counting down at the moment. And the number says 000. So I don't know what's going to go on there, but we'll see. There's every chance I do have to stop it somewhere. As you can see, it's bringing our speed down. Because we've got AFB turned on, it's bringing our speed down. Brought us down to 240 for a second then. So that's good fun. That's good fun. Not quite sure what that was for, but it did it all the same. Might have been that little curve we had there. Maybe it just couldn't quite be done. Oh, no, it's still bringing our speed down. 6 kilometers. 000. I guess that means there's a red signal coming up. I mean, they're green now, but this is reading further than any signal block can show us. So we'll just let the train do what it wants to do and see what happens. 20 kilometers to go. CIFA. Yeah, it's a very odd system where you don't get any audio cue first. It relies on you being able to see it first and then tells you. It's just accelerating again. I notice the braking curve is a lot slower right now, so what we can probably do actually is we can just take control of it ourselves. If we just power off. I got it. And then once the braking curve matches up, we can just start matching it manually. The braking curve doesn't know what it's doing right now, does it? It's going a bit mad. It sort of jumped by the looks of things. I believe this is Horham. Got that. On the 442 there. Lovely. Brake curve still coming down. Less than 4 kilometers to go until this supposed 000. Start braking to match the curve. And it's just got to jump back up again. Okie dokie. I suspect we've caught up to a 442, and as it passes through signal blocks, we get an increased braking curve, or a decreased braking curve, because we've got longer to slow down. I suspect that's what's going on in the timetable, because the 442 only goes 160, but shares the same tracks, so you do catch up to things. So we could put a bit more power back on, but that's what I suspect is going on. In a distance beyond what we can see, there is a red signal, and it's warning us of that, and trying to bring our speed down, ready to slow us down for it, just in case. Which is rather cool, and not something I've experienced, because when I set up the little scenario for the first video, I didn't put any AI in front of me, so you know, it's not something you get to experience if you set it up like that. Which had a clean shot into Cologne. Right, power down. Oh, just changed again. I haven't got that much further to go until we give up LZB and approach into Cologne. Just gonna let it coast for the time being, because that braking curve is still sort of approaching. It's still doing it itself because AFB's turned on. Right, I'll let it do it then. Got CIFA. I like how it was like close, dense forestry and now it's opened up completely here. It's kind of cool. And the braking curve has decreased once again. We're definitely following something into Cologne right now. But once the 442 goes onto a different track, because they use different platforms, we should get a straight shot in. So we'll see how that goes. We've got less than 10 kilometers to go until Cologne. If we just keep coasting, we should be okay. Because if I put power on now, AFB would bring us up to the braking curve. But as far as it's concerned, we'll just coast, and as the braking curve gets near us, it will start slowing us down. But it keeps shifting because the train. I want to see. The train's fine for a minute. I want to see. Is there something in front of us causing this? Yes, there is. See, that's another 442, and because it's done a stop at Köln-Aachen and is on the same line as us, we've caught up to it essentially, and it's just given us a bit of grief. But on the approach into Cologne, it will go into a different platform, so it won't be in our way for much longer. It's so unnatural watching the train brake itself. I won't be doing that for much longer. It won't be long until we reach the end of LZB. Let's bring our speed right down now. And you see we've actually got a yellow signal in a kilometre. So yeah, that is definitely what it is doing. What we can do at this point, I'm going to turn AFB off, and I'm going to start braking myself, just so I've got a bit more control once we get to these lower speeds here. Yeah, see, if we were still doing best part of 250, we would not be able to stop in time for this red signal. Got Zifa. Not braking quickly enough. There we go. So that's just a good example of what LZB will do to prevent you from running a red. $300 meters to go. Still below the braking curve, so we know we're going to stop in front of it. Down to 30 kilometers. Not quite matching the braking curve at this point. There's a bit more braking. Back beneath it. And it just changed. In typical fashion, as soon as you get close to a signal, it changes. Alright, power back up. Excellent. We've still got reds to follow us in now, but that's okay. You see, we're not far from Cologne. So let's take things easy here. So if we go slowly, it might give a chance for the signals to change in front of us before we get that close again. But that is just like the most typical thing. Red signal, you'll crawl towards it as slowly as you possibly can, but as soon as you're about to stop, it changes. Thankfully, because we're still in LZB, we still have the braking curve. So as long as I start braking when it tells me to, we'll be okay. Sifa. Just changed. Braking curve increased. Or decreased. I say it decreased because you don't have to brake as quickly. You got more time to do it. Increased suggests that it's a more intensive braking curve. 70 km/h limit coming up. So at this point, LZB would be slowing us down anyway as we approach Cologne and this 70 speed restriction. But given we've got a red, I'm just going to stick it at 70 now. And it'll all be okay. Hopefully we'll be on time. 2 minutes. Push the N key. Yes, I've pushed the N key, thank you. Excellent. So that's just confirming that LZB is about to end. Which it does in a few more 100 meters. Confirm it's about to end because we will be assuming full manual control. But as you can see, we've got a green signal now. The 442 is out the way. Let's bring our speed down nice. So we've got a 60 km/h limit coming up, which is good. Everything's looking good. Under here. I got it, I got it. Just a mess of railway lines here, which is awesome. Quick look. As you can see there, railway lines everywhere. See the cathedral in the distance. Going a bit slower than one would, but it's okay. We can just bring ourselves back up to 60. And there's the end of LZB. Yep. More or less on time. See, how on time you are here will depend on how good you are at managing your train, really. When you've got a red. And with this last turn here, we'll be on our final approach into Cologne. Bring the speed down for 40. There it is. Now we just coast in. Simple as that. We should see the 442 somewhere in here. It'll probably be on this sort of side of the station. It would have crossed over to get out of our way. We should see it. I doubt it wouldn't have left already. Oh no, it's actually there. I thought it'd be on that side. No, it's on that side. There it is. So that's what was holding us up. We got up to it. So that's good fun. Look at this grand archway. It doesn't get better than that, does it? It's awesome. I got it, I got it. Hello, Talent 2. I've 50 meters to go, so I'm just focusing on stopping here. Sifa, you're really not helpful right now, because I managed to overshoot my stopping point. But that is good enough. That is good enough. Excellent. Welcome to Cologne. Let's get the doors open. See, the steps came down as well, which is kind of cool. Makes for a seamless step down onto the platform. But that has been a run in the ICE. We're not going to leave it there, but that was a run in the ICE. And got the Talent 2 there as well. Look at that for a pairing. That's awesome, that is. That's awesome. Alright, let's bring that back up, see what we're doing. So I'll shut the doors shortly. But I say this train will continue on and go to all the way down to Frankfurt, which is cool. Just wait for people to finish getting on and off. Sometime today would be good. Probably got to lock the doors again. Well, then maybe it'll just end. Lock the doors.
Schließvorgang eingeleitet.
There they go. Excellent. And there's our speed graph, our performance graph. It's a bit mental, isn't it? You can see how we got up to 250, and then red signal brought us down, then up and down and up, and then down to stop, and then we got ourselves into Cologne. But as you can see, that didn't take very long at all, even though we had a red signal to deal with. That didn't take long at all, which was awesome. But let's also have a go in the Talent 2, shall we? Yeah, let's have a go in the Talent 2. Well, before we drive the Talent 2, I thought I'd watch the ICE depart Cologne here, which is kind of cool. Seeing as, you know, we spent all that effort trying to get it here, I thought we'd could at least pay it the dignity of watching it depart. Goes past the cathedral here. Lovely stuff. There it goes. Onwards to Frankfurt, which is awesome. Excellent. Right. Let's find that Talent 2. And here comes the Talent 2 just coming off the bridge there, which is awesome. Hello, Talent 2. I'm not going to drive this all the way back to Aachen. We'll just give it a short run, which should be kind of cool. Excellent. All these unsuspecting passengers not realising I'm about to take control of their train. That's cool. So just walk up here. It departs in a few minutes. So we can walk down here, get the train set up, which is awesome. There it goes. Excellent. Right, let's get ourselves on board and take it for a few stops, shall we? And welcome aboard the Talent 2. So we're just going to get ourselves set up here. Got to get the doors open. They're opening, which is good. Going to get the cab light off. We don't really need that right now. Get ourselves into forwards, ready to depart. Going to get the screen onto dark mode because it just looks better. That's how I prefer it anyway. Set up the destination board to say Aachen. Although we're not going to take it all the way to Aachen. We're not going to do that. We're just going to take it as far as Düren because I'm not made of time. Let's have a look what we've got going on here. Let's get the C for isolation on because that's always good fun to play with. And let's get the passenger lights on so they're not left in the dark. That's worked. Excellent. So yes, it's Talent 2 time. Ooh. Announcements. Fun. Yeah, so this is Talent 2 time. Hamster cheek time. Because it looks like a hamster. That's its actual nickname is the hamster cheek. Or in German, I'm going to get this horribly wrong, is it Hamsterbacker? Something like that. I think that's something how you pronounce it. Probably terribly wrong. Feel free to hate my pronunciation, it's fine. But I love this. And you've got the scrolling destination there, which is kind of cool. It's kind of cool. What are you doing? You getting on? You getting off? You can't go in the cab. That's mine. Ah, you're just walking down. Okay. Probably waiting for another train. So we can depart in just a little over 10 seconds. Handy trick, if it says wait until a certain time, close the doors about 5 seconds before it says to close them, and then by the time it says lock, you're already ready to go. It's always good fun. And we're on our way. So we're only stopping at Köln-Aachen, Horum and Düren, I believe. So yeah, it's not as fast as the ice, but it's it's still not too bad. And this thing just sounds awesome. I love the sounds this thing has. And treat that as a green. It looks like some sort of calling on signal there. That's what it would be in the UK anyway. CFA, excellent. Have a look, shall we? I do love the talent too. It's quite a unique looking train. Also got the shared bogies there, which is kind of cool. So each vehicle is rested on one bogie in between. It's better for comfort, and in a derailment, these trains are actually more likely to stay upright because of this sort of stuff. It's cool. Get the CFA. It's going to go off quite a few times that. Let's get us up to speed. Up to 60. That's it. Around the corner. There's 60. That's it. That's it. I like driving this thing manually. The ice is good for AFB, letting it drive itself, but I like driving this thing manually. There we go. That's the noise for CFA. So this one doesn't say CFA. CFA. It's just got a beep. If you don't see it in time. So that's cool. Let's bring our speed up now. Up to 80. That's it. 78. CFA. Speeding again. Yeah, see the tempomat is down here. You've got the on and off button there. And you can increase and decrease the speed. So it does work, which is kind of cool. But because you do more frequent stopping in this thing, I like to have more manual control. But one thing we will try out is we've got this as well, the deep and high. When what that is, clearly going under a bridge there. What that is the height of the step on the door. So we'll see that as well shortly. We'll see that as well as we approach Köln-Aachen here. So at the moment it's on high. I'll show you that. I'm just going to coast here because the station's really not that far away. There's no, because the speed limit's just gone up, but there's not much point in accelerating at this point because we've only got to stop up here. The station's literally just there. See that? Got that. I'm well practiced in this. This is the second time I've recorded this bit. The first time, they decided outside to start going like, hey, you know those trees? Let's start cutting them all down. The noisiest wood chipper equipment you've ever heard. Completely ruined the audio. So here I am doing it again, because I wasn't going to let that ruin me. It was so annoying, but we got there in the end. So thankfully I've had practice stopping here. So I shouldn't screw it up. He says, worrying he's going to screw it up. Oh, we're still on the platform. That just gets people closer to the lift. That's fine. So yeah, so we're on high at the moment. So if we open the doors and have a look out here, you can see we have the high ramp that's popped out. You can see down there that there's the low ramps. This is the high ramp, there's the low ramp. And depending on which one you press, it depends on which one comes out. Because if you've got a lower platform, you want it to be lower, so it's easier for people to get off the train. Which is kind of cool. Oh, another announcement. Alright. Let the people get on. I think you can only change it whilst the doors are closed. I think it'd be a bit of a scary move if you let the if you changed the step whilst the doors were open. Someone's about to step off and you change the height. I reckon that'd get on people's nerves. Come on, people. Sometimes they'd be good. Nearly there. Great, to close passenger doors. There they go. Excellent. Next stop, Horham, 15 kilometres. That's it. Let's get us out of here. This is not an ideal place for the camera to be. There we go, let's go up here. One of the things I love about this is the horn. I just love how short and sweet it is. It's so cool. It's good for a little toot. I could do that all day. I love it. Obviously you can just do, you know, you can do it longer, but I just like doing a little toot. I got it. Right, let's speed up. As you can see, the speed limit's still going to go up to 250, but this thing is limited to 160, as it says there, and even though there's an LZB switch, these things aren't actually fitted with it, so it's not something we can use. Don't necessarily need it to go faster anyway, because we can't go faster. Let's see for there. So it's going to be a balancing trick not to speed, because I'm not going to use so I'm not going to use the tempo mats for this. I'm going to drive it manually, which is rather nice to do. Green signals, which is what we like to see. Got that. So it's a very stylish cab. Blind. Challenge mode activated. Excellent. Can we have that back? There we go. Don't want challenge mode, not today. Right, try and maintain our speed there. Have a look outside. Thing of beauty. Not entirely new to Train Sim world. Obviously, Rapid Transit came with it, but it looks better in red. I like a Talent 2 in red, and this is lovely. First class back here. Awesome. Actually slowing down quite a bit. Going slightly uphill. Enjoying the journey? You can't hear me, but you enjoying the journey? Hope so. Seafer. That's it. Just hold it there. Trying to find the right sort of power notch that will hold it manually is a little bit of a challenge. It's like 2 isn't enough. I'm looking down on the HUD there, because this is kind of fluid in motion, but on the HUD it does show you percentage in tens, essentially. You've got that number 3, goes up to 5 there, 4, so it's just trying to find the right balance. CFAT. It's amazing, after doing 250 it does feel a lot slower to be doing it only 160. That it does. And I imagine once you get the IC up to 280 on Munich or Augsburg, is it Augsburg or Augsburg? Out of Munich. There we go, that's the best way of saying that. Once you get up to 280 on there, this is going to feel slow. And then when you get the TGV up to 320, that's going to feel slow. The Munich. But I do love high speed. And then you go back to West Somerset Railway, and it's like, oh my god, this is so slow. But it's all good fun. It's all good fun. I think because we're slower than any ICE trains, if there is any in front of us, we won't get any reds on this journey. Should be a straight shot all the way through. It'll be interesting to see when the expanded timetable is available for this route, if that changes at all. Like if you end up running behind a freight train and going slower, that'll be interesting to find out. I'm looking forward to doing S-Bahn as well. Do that one day. I like doing S-Bahn services. Round the corner. Back up the front here. I love it. We're speeding. We're speeding. This thing has a limit of 160. At least it should have. Because the obvious thing there is trains can always go faster than the design speed limit. That they can always do. Like this goes up to 180 here. Doesn't mean you should go it. But things are always tested faster than they actually go. Like the Class 395 Javelin, for example. That has a service speed of 140 miles an hour, at least on high speed 1. But it's been seen... I think its record is like 152 or something. So, you know, these trains can go faster. I think it's 152. It might even be higher than that. Anyway, I'm slowing down because Horham isn't too far away, and technically speaking, the next signal has got an 80 km/h speed restriction. The HUD might not show it, but it's definitely there. The white 8 and the flashing green, I think that indicates a track change. I think. But yeah, that white 8 means you should be going 80 km an hour past that signal. And the way I knew that was the previous one had a yellow 8 on it, and that one did as well. But yeah, you can see I had one of those on it, which warns you of the speed restriction, because we are now approaching Horham. I think I can see another Talent 2 there. Yep, another Talent 2. It's just over there. Looks like he's leaving as we're arriving. Excellent. Trying to get a good look at him whilst we're doing this. There he goes. Nice. Sifa. Stop up at the end of the platform here, and that'll be off our next stop done. Here we are. Stop near the H marker, that's generally where you're supposed to aim for. That's good enough for me. So let's just check the height of this platform first. I think this is another high one. Yeah, okay, we'll just leave it on high then. There we go. Don't want to cause people to trip up now, do we? You can see that it lines up there with the height. So that's cool. But if it was a lower platform, we could use the low one. So yeah, this is Horham. That's not a bad station, really. So as we stop here, ICE services race through on these lines to bypass the station. Unless, of course, you want to run an ICE on the Regional Express pathing, then you can do that with the scenario planner. Stop an ICE here if you want to. All good fun. Similarly, you could do a non-stop run in the 442 with that as well. Right, loading procedure is nearly complete. Close the doors. "20 kilometers to go until Düren. Doing it 13:13. 10 minutes. 10 minutes to do 20 kilometers. Not bad. Not bad. This thing sounds like the S stock. And like the Metropolitan line. It's kind of cool. It's got the same sort of whine to it. Alright, joining back up with the main line. And there we go, we can accelerate again. Okay, so there was a board there that said 16. So for conventional trains, the speed limit is 160. But anything for LZB can go faster if it can. It's you know, stuff like the ICE. So, pulling our speed again. I don't know how to pronounce anything in this train, I really don't. But not that you can really blame me for that one. I'm not German. Well, that it is definitely leaves. It's definitely one language I would like to learn one day. I do like the German language, you know, from what I do know, which is that, you know, I know little bits and bobs, but only from recognising it through trains. But stuff like that, I know what 50 kilometers an hour is. You can't confuse me with that in PZB. But you know, I generally speaking, not even gonna try. Not even gonna try. Some sidings here. Let's see that. That's it. Get back up to speed. We're going up a slight uphill gradient, so it's just slowly bleeding our speed off. So just got to try and keep an eye on that. Don't want to be late. Then again, I was doing a little bit of speeding earlier, so would be on time because it's leaving out. See that? Bit more speed. What's kind of interesting here is the S-Bahn tracks have gone down to one track. It was up to, you know, as far as Cologne to Horum, we had 4 tracks. Now we've only got 3. So I imagine the S-Bahn services share that track, I guess. And now it's opened back out to 5 tracks. I'm not entirely sure, but maybe that's the case. Because I'm pretty sure there is one station on the S-Bahn that only has one platform that trains call out in both directions, so it must be a single track section. Which is kind of cool. You'd think like an S-Bahn line would be like, you know, heavy commuter traffic, you'd have double track all the way, but evidently not. Makes things interesting. CFAT. So I do not dare touch PZB. It terrifies me. It absolutely terrifies me. Last time I tried it, I was on Russie Ignored, and it went horribly wrong, and I dare not try it again. Not anytime soon. Because it's complicated. It's complicated. Like, LZB is easy. It's like TVM 430 LZB in concept, where you know, it tells you how fast you can go. You go that fast, and it gives you a braking curve of sorts. With a TVM 430, it brings your speed down in increments. But PZB is just overly complicated for my brain. It really is. Doesn't mean we can't enjoy the trains though, because I do love the German railway network. Don't know how you can't love this, really. So it's 2 tracks again. What I don't have happen now is, obviously I'm looking at this train here, turn around, ICE straight in my face at 250. That'd be kind of terrifying. Must be awesome to spawn on foot at one of these intermediate stations and just watch the ice race through. I keep calling it an ice. I'm very aware that people don't like it when it's called an ice, but it's ICE. It's bound to happen. It's bound to happen. Trains get all sorts of unofficial nicknames, it's fine. It's fine. Not that much further to go. Hopefully we'll be on time. It's 13, so we've got 4 minutes? Yeah, 4 minutes. Let's do 6 kilometers. We got this. So you can see the speed limit in 2.6 kilometers is going down to 200. If we were going in the ICE in the same direction, LZB would be telling us about that long in advance. And automatically braking us to come down to it if AFB was turned on. Which is kind of cool. Five kilometers to go. Rounding the corner. Another S-Bahn station there. So if you imagine, there's like three flavours of speed along this route, or 4 I guess. You've got ICE, Regional Express, S-Bahn, and Freight. So it gives you, there's 4 different speeds you can run along this route with. Which is a bit different. Because with Freight, you'll get that when like Reimer-Rost and the main Spessartbahn make themselves available through the Preserve collection. But until then, you've still got the East Coastway Class 66. If you really, really wanted to drive freight along here, it's possible. It's possible. Whether you want to do it or not is another matter. Right, so we're not far away from Düren now. Only just over 2 kilometers. That's not going to take us long to get there. Just trying to keep an eye on the speed, keep an eye on the signals. No speed restrictions of any kind, so it's still good to keep the speed up. But we need to judge our braking. And given we're what, under a mile now, I'm going to start braking. Heavy braking, but it's all good. I love that there's trains in the sidings here. A pair of Talents and a pair of ICEs, that's cool. So based on where this track is then, did the ICEs just race straight through the platform? They must do. But I guess at these lower speeds, because the speed limit drops to 160 just after this, it's fine. It's quite a cool station actually. So if we look here, there's actually an old turntable inside the platform, which is really, really cool. I love that. It's just a nice little feature of this station. One, I never would have known about if this route wasn't available to drive, because I wouldn't have researched it or anything like that. So it's cool to learn about the routes that you drive. It's very cool. Right, we are going to bring it to a stop. There. I'm going to throw it into neutral. I'm going to open the doors. And I'm going to get out. Because that is as far as I'm taking the train today. That is as far as I'm taking the train. Indeed. Everyone can get on and off. Another driver can come and they can take it over and continue the journey onwards to Aachen. But I'm going to leave it there. If you've missed my other videos on Train Sim World 2, feel free to check them out. But that's me for today. So thank you very much for watching this one, and I will see you in the next video.